What's going on, everybody? Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for you subscribers, and thanks for you guys who are about to hit the subscribe button. Today's video is none other than what it says on the title or the thumbnail. It's about 80% lowers.
What?
Mil spec, not mil spec, whatever, fill in the blank. So I made a video a year ago that talked about 80% lowers and said, do not buy them. And I think I have a stop sign or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but either way, I get a lot of comments on that. And a lot of people don't like it. The vast majority do. I'd say 70% of the people who watch that video actually like it, or they understand my point. The 30% of you donkeys don't. And that's fine. I'm not expecting this to be an echo chamber. I don't care. I do want to drive the debate to where it needs to go, though. So why would you buy anything? It's because you need it. Now, there are people who are preppers in most of the two-way community, military, law enforcement, just downright citizens are preppers by nature, because some of us live in those areas where prepping is just a lifestyle. It's a way of life. So I get, you might buy things you don't need now. You may want them later. 80% lowers can fall into that category. But I'm going to share with you my reasons as to why I said do not buy them. Understand your local laws. It wasn't because you'd get in trouble, although some people can. It was because I've had a lot of people come to me with an 80% lower kit or 80% lower and wonder why they can't put a lower parts kit in it. And I look at them like they're stupid. And at the same time, I'm like, well, you could put some of it in there, but you can't put it all, like the trigger group and all that other stuff. Obviously, the whole fire control pocket isn't even done. And they're like, oh, I thought it was cheaper than the other one that's stripped. And I was like, sometimes it is. But you still have to do a couple hours worth of machining, depends on your setup. And they are pissed. Let me tell you, every one of them have been pissed, and they felt duped because the internet will say, go out and buy an 80% lower. I said stop buying them because you don't know why you're getting it in the first place. Half of you can't buy 80% lowers anymore. I'm from California, not by choice. I was born in Pennsylvania, raised in California after my military brat movement from Japan, North Carolina. California was my last stop before I joined the service. Now, I'm definitely not a liberal.
Nope.
I'm very conservative, but I'm definitely not a Republican either. I think I'm more conservative than those rhinos in the first place. But I'm not stupid, and I don't think you are either. That's why you're subscribed to my channel. I just wanted to talk about 80% lowers a little bit different than I probably did last time. I still mean everything I said in that video. I was probably ranting at points. I probably said the wrong word like you do when you talk to somebody, and instead of saying go left, you say right, but you mean left. Well, this is a video. I don't get to go back and think every single thing I said and change it. I might have said something and meant it, or said something that was a little off and meant something different. Oh well. So either way, I have some 80% lowers before me now. This video, like damn near every other video I have, is demonetized. And if you are watching ads, sorry, because I don't choose if you watch ads or not. YouTube will just throw an ad in there. But this right here is a set. So this is a $65 ship, taxed, and everything set. This was purchased in 2013, back when I was in San Diego County. You can't buy 80% lowers anymore online in San Diego County.
Nope.
I wouldn't be shocked if you can't buy them even at a store. But in San Diego County, you will not get these shipped to you. I had this shipped to me, $65 after taxes and everything. It was such a great deal, and still is to this day. Some people will think, why would you pay for this? This isn't worth $65. It's not black anodized. It's not mil spec. Somebody said that in my video, that I had a piss poor explanation of the 80% lower, and said I didn't have a mil spec lower because I had one with a trigger guard integrated, and I know what they're talking about. But I showed multiple. I might have said that one was, and if anything, it might have exceeded mil spec, and I'll tell you that. So either way, these right here are a forged set from Cero. So if you see that little keyhole marking there as well as there, you will know that these are a same or a matched set. Now, I don't like lowers and uppers that don't match.
Nope.
To include these two little like rib lines. So when you put this thing together and they're all sandwiched together and they're completely off, it to me is like buying a nice vehicle and the doors don't line up. The lines on the doors from the front to the back don't line up. I'm not paying full price for something like that.
Nope.
So because I have my little OCD with that, I don't mind having the OCD with the other things, which I like to Cerakote my firearms. I've Cerakoted a few different firearms that I have here, and I've Cerakoted many for other people. And it's just like this. I have before me now another set of an 80% lower receiver set. This one right here, this is a black anodized. This one does not have that Ceraforge lower logo with the little keyhole, but the top of it does. And you can see it right there. Of course, it's got the little Betsy Ross flag. Some people like that, but I can tell you right now, regardless if the camera can pick it up, but these are two different colors or shades of black. They're both the same type of lower. They're just two different shades of black. The one on the bottom is more of a matte finish. The one on top is more of a satin or semi-gloss finish, and I don't like it because they're not the same color. So once again, buy a car. Not only do the lines not match, but you have two different shades of gray. You have Honda gray on this one and you have Mazda gray on that one, and then they put it on your car. It looks like a junkyard car. And I see a lot of people with junkyard AR-15s. Now, I'm not saying they should look pretty and off the shelf. You can never have a scratch on it, but I want them to fade at the same patina, the same color. I don't want to start off with one that's off-white and then the other part's bright white and then the other one's bone white. It's like, no, same color, fade evenly. That's why I buy 80% lowers as well. If this was a lower from your favorite company, DPMS, Spikes Tactical, Daniel Defense, BCM, blah blah blah, PH Daring, which is where all my lowers are from, by the way, you would have serial numbers engraved on this side and this side specifically. I don't have those. I've had these for years, done nothing with them, just like that other set I just showed you. Being that this right here is a aluminum set, it's raw, it's considered raw or in the white, I have another stripped upper right here that can be the same thing. They look very similar. This one has a square. That square is different than the Ceraforged keyhole marking. But I can tell you right now, they are pretty much the same thing. Also, now that I'm on that topic, I've got gun parts laying all over the place. Both of these two are Ceraforged. Both of them. Same keyhole markings. This one, no T-line, no laser engraved T-lines. This one has it. So what? Now, a lot of companies like Daniel Defense, they used to sell stripped upper and lower kits, like a matched receiver set. I think I seen it online for $325. Absolutely ridiculous. There is no way I would do that in a box, in a Fox. I won't eat green eggs and ham, none of that crap. And I was pissed. I was pissed to see the fact that they are taking advantage of people's ignorance. Maybe yours once upon a time, maybe yours currently, and they will buy it and say, look, I bought me a Daniel Defense firearm. And they don't use only theirs anymore, the Ceraforged sets. They used to. For the longest time, Daniel Defense guns like the DDM4, V7, up to the V11 that I remember, all of the uppers and the lowers were both Ceraforged lowers and uppers. They do the milling out on their machines. They use their CNC machines or whatever, and they will get the trigger pocket out and they will do the finishing touches and understand tolerances, and they do the same thing that I'm doing in my freaking garage, and that's fine. And so I don't think it's worth $325 when I can get a set, upper and lower, for $65 shipped to my house. And then it's so much easier because when I Cerakote it, I don't have to blast all of the anodizing off. I can start with a raw aluminum. And so it's so much easier to etch the finish before I apply whatever ceramic coat color I want on it. I mentioned, like I said earlier, about mil-spec. A lot of people are, oh, it's not mil-spec, blah, blah, blah. And I'm curious, please tell me, were you in the military and have you shot mil-spec firearms? Because the ones that I was handed sucked. They did have full auto, so that's cool, but they absolutely sucked. The last gun shoot I was on for my retirement, the barrel nut was loose on 2 of the 8 that I had shipped out there. 2 of the barrel nuts were loose I mean, you should take, and we still had plastic handguards on some of them, like the old school Knights Armament handguard. You had to take that off. You couldn't take the pinned gas block off. You would have to have a roll punch kit, take the freaking gas tube out, do all kinds of stuff just to torque the barrel back down. It's like, you know what? Or maybe they're just like everybody else's AR-15s. So mil-spec is just the military specifications of what it has, and that doesn't mean it's the top of the line. That means it's just what the military's specifications are. And let me tell you something right now. Everybody hollers about mil-spec this, mil-spec that. All you guys are going to get a mil-spec casket to go with it, because I've seen that casket. It was a 6-foot pine box that a buddy of mine got stuffed into after he passed away, unfortunately. And I see what the military specifications are. Now, a lot of companies out there not only meet but exceed military specifications on plenty of items. As a matter of fact, Geissele, I have a lot of their triggers, but one thing I also have something else that I'll talk about later in another video, but I also have their bolt carrier group, the enhanced bolt carrier group. That's supposed to be like an enhanced mil-spec bolt carrier group. That damn thing was over $300, and it's probably the best bolt carrier group I have outside of all of my Fail Zero bolt carriers. I do like it better, but I am not paying more than that one-time fee of paying that just to see if Geissele is as good as I think they are in the way they make their triggers. I have to test out how this bolt carrier works, and it's great. I think from my testings, and I've shot it full auto and I've shot it all the different things, I literally took it out, wiped it down with a cloth, and I, like Hillary Clinton, like, you know, with a cloth or something, I did that and it was clean. And I can't do that with the normal, you know, 158 Carpenter steel and the phosphate bolt carriers that we were issued. Most of the finish is worn off the carrier last I checked. So yeah, mil-spec, that's my opinion on mil-spec. You can tell me about all the different tolerances and down to the, you know, thousandth of an inch. I was like, yeah, I don't care. That's just me. You may agree, you may not agree. But either way, I wanted to talk about those things right here. This is another 80% lower that I made into a set. You don't have to like my set. I don't really care. This upper receiver, to me, is a really, really good upper receiver. It's forged. I do like the fact that it does have like a little bit of a relief cut in the center. I just prefer it. I have an easier time putting on optics that have a little bit more of a raised center. All I need is it to sit within the groove, and it's easier to rock on and off. It has the forged or billet look, but this is actually a forged upper receiver. I love it. I have this same sort of setup on a firearm. That's this right here. So this firearm here that I told you guys was my favorite AR-15 is essentially these two parts right here. This is another 80% lower that I said, I might have said this one was mil-spec, and it's clearly not. I think it's better than mil-spec. And this also is forged, but it has a billet look. And it is 70-75, not 60-61. It's not the softer aluminum. And if you guys have a problem with that, go fight all the guys who have the polymer lowers. But I actually really love this lower. Love it to death. I like the clean look of it. It's very easy when I hogged it out in my jig. I like the lines of it. Anytime I put the lower parts kit, I've had like several of these as well. And a lot of friends, I recommended them and they brought them to me after they finished them and we assembled them. I've had no problems with any of these, but I've ran into many problems with your mil-spec lower. And a lot of companies, if it's mil-spec, that means I should be able to take it from any of these companies, any of their mil-spec lower parts kits, and fit them without any modifications. But I sometimes have to modify them. I sometimes have to file certain parts down because it's not always mil-spec. Even the thread patterns in the back of where the buffer tube goes sometimes isn't mil-spec. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If you buy something, make sure you know why you buy it. Do not just buy it just to keep up with the Joneses, or just to say you have it and then you show up and then you tell me, hey, can you help me assemble my lower? And then it's not even drilled out yet. You will get made fun of. So, plenty of times over, I will say, understand your local laws, I will understand mine. I plan on going into law enforcement once I start the academy here in a few months. I do not plan on violating any citizen's rights when it comes to the Second Amendment. Any amendment, but mainly the Second Amendment, because I know it's such a hot political topic right now. I don't plan on violating these citizens' rights. In fact, I encourage they have them. Don't abuse your right and impose your will on someone else, I understand, because that's where you can lose your rights. I have a different opinion on that alone. I personally think if you use your weapon in a negative manner where you take someone's life, you should get your life taken. So that's a whole nother thing. You can't violate the law once you've broke it so badly. Well, you can't violate it again. So either way, that's what I wanted to talk about briefly, was the 80% lowers, my perspective, kind of coming back to the 80% lower and the mil-spec and all this other stuff. But to end it, I'm not going to end it just yet, but to end it, I wanted to say a lot of people think this is only to stay away from the serialization of the lower. And I don't have to have a serial number. The serial number won't save you. Nope. The serial number won't save anybody else. Nope. And anybody with a tool or a Dremel can etch your serial number out, Daniel Defense's logo, your own custom logo, whatever they want to. So serializing these is going to do nothing for you. It'll only keep you in some sort of registry or saying this person bought that. I don't like the fact that the government knows how many guns I have or how many guns you have. But I will say this right now. This thing specifically, I don't want anybody outside of Americans to be able to buy it outside of America. Now, I don't care what people do in their country. If they have their own things, that's fine. But can a tourist come to our country, buy this, have it shipped to them, they mail it out, and perform an act of terror? The answer is yes, they can. I don't like that. So in some ways, I do think some level of firearms should be regulated. Not for you, the American citizen, but for the tourist who comes here. I don't want them to be able to easily have access to firearms because I don't know their intentions. They don't like the fact that we have the Second Amendment, and some people have come here to exploit us with our own rights. So I don't like that. But for you guys who do your research and you know you can have them, you know you're up for the challenge, you want to be able to make sure that you don't have two different shades of gray and all that other stuff, go out and mill your own lower. I highly encourage it. But I will say, if you don't know what the heck you're doing, don't buy it. Just like I would tell you the same thing for anything in life. If you have no need for it now or in the near future, why are you buying it at all? That's my video for the day. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if you didn't already. Hit the notification bell, all that YouTube stuff. Beat bop, and I'm out. Peace.